Hello guys, this is Pavel Skorab from Laravel Daily Team here, and I'm here with another new video on YouTube channel Laravel Business. Last week I've shot a video of live coding a simple project from Upwork, and I've seen a lot of traction there, a lot of likes, like thumbs up and views, so I decided to continue that as a small tradition, maybe every week or so. So today we have a simple project from Upwork again, and I will try to code it from scratch with help of QuickAdminPanel as usual, but still coding with PHP Storm as well. So what do we have here? A simple project to invite people to your event or events. It could be used in various things like for birthday parties or like concert events, whatever you want. So what entities are here? You are a host of a party or an event, and you have events and you have invitations basically, and invitations can be accepted or rejected. And then there's also a function of importing the emails for bulk sending the invitations. So here we will have a few steps, what I will show here. Step number one is actually generating and downloading simple admin panel just for the sake of being logged in as an admin, as a host, and then perform some actions, and then we will generate menu items there. So basically two CRUDs, two entities, so events and invitations. And then we will go offline in our PHP Storm and add more functionality. So functionality, I have notes here. So we'll be accepting or rejecting the link. So accepting and rejecting the invitation, so there will be a separate link with success message of you have accepted or rejected. The invitation, then the sending the invitation functionality, both one invitation for a particular email or sending in bulk, so all the emails for one event. So it will be emails. I will show how to use Mailtrap for like testing the emails, and then we'll click the link from the email to accept or reject the invitation. And finally, no, not finally, two more things. We will show in the event list, we will show the numbers, how many invitations were sent, how many accepted and rejected. I think it's really useful information. And then the final thing is importing of all the emails from CSV with actually checking if that email is already present in that event, so to avoid duplicates. And finally, I will upload that project to GitHub, and you could use that for your own maybe invitation system or as a core for something. So I hope you will learn a thing or two from here. Not sure if I will shoot that in one video, so if you see the video on like minute 10 or 20 and then I'm in another environment dressed in another like jumper or something, just I've shot it in two goes. Right, so let's begin. Let's go to our QuickAdminPanel. I've logged in, and let's create new admin panel for event invitations. Laravel 5.5. It's creating the project, and then we will actually create two, as I said, two CRUDs. There will be events and there will be invitations. So a few more seconds. Yep. We are here. We don't need any more modules for this particular simple project. Menus, we go create CRUD menu item called events. So events, for events, I guess there will be two things. So name of the event, which is required and probably not nullable. Yes, correct. And then date of the event, date picker, event, date. Let it be optional. Right, so we create that CRUD, save CRUD. We have more roles here for administrator and simple user. We won't actually use that, but still, that's default how our admin panel works, so I'll leave it as it is. So with events, we have invitations then. Second CRUD is invitations, and for that we need to have belongs to relationship with event. Event, and the model is events. That's name. And then for every invitation we need to have email. So basically person's email. Right, then that's actually required, not nullable. Then what else? Event ID. Then we need to have send timestamp. So in addition to default created at and updated at, we'll have send at, because it will be possible to add invitation but send it a little later. So datetime picker, which will actually be timestamp. So send at optional, then accepted at or updated at or rejected at, sorry. What I like to do here is, for example, if you have a field like accepted or rejected, like approval, I like to make it timestamps. So if it's null, then it's not accepted. But if it has timestamp, it has the value of when it was accepted, not just 1 or 0, but also accepted at. Right, my slide is here. Anyway, okay, so data picker for accepted at and then rejected at. So one of those fields will be filled with timestamp. And yeah, I think we're good. Saving the CRUD, and then we will, yeah, we're good. We'll download AdminPanel now, and then we will continue offline with customizing those CRUDs. Alright, so here I am now in downloaded AdminPanel. Here's how it looks, and we need to run composer install now. Okay, we're done with composer install. A few warnings here, those are irrelevant, it's because of QuickAdminPanel magic. Now we run migrate with seeds. Should be pretty quick. Right, and now we can go to our AdminPanel. Sorry, q1.dev. I've prepared the folder in Homestead, the domain, and we can log in with admin and password. Let's see if we actually have our panel. That's good. And now let's go to PHP Storm and continue coding there. Okay, let's create one event for testing. Go to events. We add our name and event1 with date, like Wednesday, doesn't matter. And then we can add invitations by hand. And this is the part where we start actually coding. So what we can do here is add event and add an email, but we don't need these three fields because they will be set automatically on some action. So let's change that in the code. We open our code, and in the model invitation we see some fillables and some logic setters and getters for dates. We don't need those at all. Set accepted date, get accepted, rejected. All of that is gone. Something's happening. Now we go to invitations create, and we remove those fields at all. So yes, remove that. Edit blade with the same invitations. Okay, send at, rejected at, gone. And let's check the controller as well. Invitations controller. Do we do anything specifically with store? No, just gets request all. Okay, let's try to refresh the form and add some invitation. So for event 1, we add Laravel daily.com, and it works. And yeah, these fields here are okay. And in edit form, we also can edit that to anything and hit update. So that thing works. Okay, now we can save our invitations, and the next step is accept or reject those invitations. So for that, we need separate routes. So let's go to our routes web PHP file, and here we have invitations as resource. But in this case, we need a separate get method for accepting the invitation. So let's put it up here. Root get invitations, invitation ID, and action. It will be accept or reject. And okay, we'll create another controller accept controller and accept method. Right, so actually in real life you should get more complex. So for example, every invitation would get some kind of token, unique token, so these things wouldn't be easy to guess, but in this case I will go for the easy way just to show the demo. Right, and then we need accept controller here, so let's go make controller accept controller. Okay, accept controller and accept, which will get invitation ID and action. So what do we have here? Invitation will be invitation find or fail invitation ID. Then if not in array action accept or reject. And then we also throw abort 404. And then we actually invitation if action equals accept. And then we go invitation date accepted at equals carbon. I think now to date. I think it's this. Here we have rejected, and then we return some view. Actually, let's not return view, let's just return the message of your invitation was successfully accepted or rejected, but let's put the variable here, accepted or rejected. This. So now if we have our first invitation here with probably invitation ID 1, yes, that's correct. So this probably will work. Sorry, q1.dev/invitation. What's the URL? /invitations/1 and /accept. Invitation successfully accepted, and let's look at our database now. So we have invitations, and yes, it was actually accepted. And if we go back to our database table, I think it's here. Yes, the invitation was accepted. Right, so accepting and rejecting works now. Now let's work at actually sending the invitations. Now we will have two ways to send the invitation. First way is just from the list, so let's add the button called send invitation. So invitations index, in all those buttons here, links, let's add here. If you can view invitation, you can probably send it. Right, it will be an admin invitation send, invitation ID, it's translation here, but actually app send and global PHP view. Well, actually I've opened Lithuanian translation, global PHP English, app view, let's add app send. And we have to add admin invitation send route, right? Admin invitations send. send, and then as indentation send, and it should be before the resource from what I remember. Right, I think we're good, and let's refresh the list. See, we have a menu button called send, and the URL is invitations1send, and if we click, it should throw an error, probably. It should throw an error that the method send does not exist, and it doesn't exist. Let's create that. So in our invitations controller, it should be similar to show method. So display invitation and send invitation. So send. Let's check the comments. Right, so we have invitation, and here we need to call the mail sending for that invitation. So for that, we need to generate the mail. How the mail is generated in Laravel. Let's go to documentation of Laravel, and here I am in the mail section, and let's follow the instructions. How does I make mail? Okay. Mail, invitation, send. Good. Then we need to go to build method invitation send. We should open it. Invitation send mail. Okay, we have view build, and let's view the emails invitation. Okay, and let's create that. Actually, views folder called emails. No, it's not file. Folder called emails, and then file will be invitation.blade.php. Right. Okay, so view invitation, and hello, here's your invite to the event. Click here to accept the invitation, probably not invite. Here's your invitation. It will be route. What's the name of the route? Actually, it doesn't have any name, so it should be URL. URL. Actually, no, let's make it a route. Let's stick to good practice. Name, invitations, send. So route invitations, send. Then we have parameter called invitation ID and accept. And click here to reject. Have a nice day. Again, it's a really simplified version. Probably it should be with BRs, I guess. Something like that. Okay, we have the view. Now how to call it properly with the parameter. So parameter of mailable should be invitation. And then this invitation should be equal invitation. And here, let's go back to the documentation. I don't remember it from heart. Yes, so of course it should be the property of the class. So invitation instance, and then we need to pass it. Actually, it's passed automatically. I think automatically will be available in your view, so we don't need to change anything here. Right, okay, now how do we pass it to the, actually to send invitation, to the argument missing. Okay, let's add a parameter, invitation. Good, no underlining here anymore. Maybe here. No. Anyway, let's call the invitation now. To actually use the mailable, here is the simple example from the Laravel documentation, so let's do that. Let's go back to our invitations controller, and here we need, in send, we need mail to. Mail should be probably, which one? I think it's this, actually no. It's facade mail, of course. It's facade mail. Okay, to request user, we don't have request user, we have invitation email, and then send to new invitation, send with parameter invitation. And if it's successful, we just return redirect to route, no, redirect route admin invitations index. Yeah, that's it. Let's test it. Now, to test the email sending in Laravel, we will use a service called mailtrap.io. I recommend that for our sending. How does it work? It just captures every email that goes out from your system, and it will land here in your virtual inbox. It doesn't matter who is the recipient. It will still land here in one inbox. So to use that, all we need to do is to copy username and password to your .env file, which I have it opened here. So I copy and paste username and password for my account, and mail driver should be SMTP. And now let's refresh our page and see the invitation here. So send, and waiting, it's refreshed, so redirected back, and let's see if we actually got the email. See, invitation send. Invitation send, click here to accept the invitation. Right, we forgot the links. Of course, we need to check the links here, and let's copy the link here to actual text. So this, and then click here to check the invitation, and let's try to send it again. Send the invitation, and it should go to Mailtrap as another email. Let's check that. Yes, we have invitation sent, and click here to accept the invitation. And if we do click, it should go to invitation successfully accepted. Now we need to check something here. First, by clicking send, we actually send the invitation. So in our controller, we need to update invitation, update send at equals carbon now to date type string, and then in the list we need to show invitations index, show send only if not invitation sent at, and if. Right. So we should not click the send. Actually, we should see that for now. Now let's check that again and see if it's actually sent. So see, we don't see that button anymore, and that means probably that we have the invitations here sent at. Great. Now the next step is, what is the next step? Send more invitations in bulk. Okay, I've added some invitations that we can send, and before we actually do the coding, important notice: I don't want to encourage you to spam people. So if you want to send multiple emails, if you want to send like multiple invitations, for that I totally advise to use some kind of email marketing software like MailChimp or Aweber or Drip or anything on the market. Otherwise you will get banned by spam, or you might even fail to send the actual emails. So I would advise to refactor that code to use some kind of external API for bulk sending. But for this demo, I will actually use the same mail trap to send the emails and reply to them. So let's move on. So down at the bottom, let's add the button, or actually here at the top, for add new invitation, let's add another button, send all invitations. Wait, index should be here. So all trash here. Here we have add new and send all invitations. Invitations send. And for that, let's put the parameter as, where's that? Get invitation sent. So let's put the other way around. So invitation slash send slash invitation ID, which would be optional. So if we don't have invitation ID, then we will just send everything that is not sent yet. But for that, we need event ID actually. Event ID and invitation ID. Thinking about it, let's make a separate route after all. So let's leave it as it is now. Invitation send, and let's make another one. Invitations event ID event send, something like that. So event send as invitation event send. Right, so have invitations ID. Right, event send, and to be honest, that button shouldn't be here. It should be under events, events index, in this list. So we have events. The button should be here. View, edit, delete, and send invitations. So it should be something like this. Admin events. That's the thing. It should be events send. It should be under events, so get events send and events controller send, and then events send. Right, so we close this one, and in events send we need events send, send here, and in events controller let's copy this one, and events controller should be almost copy as show. So show event and send event. So send invitations like this. Let's copy that again. Right, so we need all the invitations here. So we need all the invitations, right? And then for each invitations as invitation, we do this. So we send the email and right, import that class, then import the mail, facade, and carbon as well. Right, invitation where event and where null sent at, basically meaning not sent yet. So yeah, we get that invitation, update, and then return to the show, return actually redirect, return redirect, route, admin events index. Okay, let's test it. So we have events, we have a button send, and we should send 3 emails to 3 testing users. Loading, it should load pretty slowly because the queue is sync, so it goes one by one. Okay, sent. Let's check our mail trap. 3 emails, so user 1, user 2, user 3. This one is from earlier, 8 minutes ago. So we have 3 invitations. Actually, let's accept one of those. Successfully accepted, and then let's reject another one. Successfully rejected, and let's see what we have in the invitations table. So see, one is accepted, one is rejected, and one is untouched. So next thing, let's show that in the table. So name, event, and how many rejected, how many sent. For that, we go to our events index view, blade, and then see, let's add more fields, event date, and then event sent, actually sent, let's put it this way, let's format it a little, PHP Storm is playing with me, okay, sent, then approved, no, it's not approved, it's, what's it called, accepted, and rejected. Right, and in th as well. So 3 things, fields, sent, accepted, and rejected. Sent, accepted, and rejected, and let's open up global PHP and events fields, so sent, accepted, and rejected. Okay, so email incoming, accept, rejected, and now we should get an error because we don't have those values, sent, accepted, and rejected. Let's add those to the model. So event PHP, let's add public function get sent attribute. Now this we need to add relationship as well, because we have only belongs to the event, but we don't have has many. Public function invitations, return this has many, and will be invitation class like this one. So this invitations where, I think it's where no send at count, where not no. Same here, get accepted, where not null, accepted at, and get rejected, attribute rejected at. Refresh the page and let's see what we have here, events. Empty. Of course, need to return. Forgot the most important word here. Return. So there you go, 4 invitations sent, 2 accepted, 1 rejected. The final step here in this live video is actually importing the invitations from CSV file. So to do the import, we will add another button under invitations. So add new will have another button called import. So in invitations index, we'll have add new and then import app import from CSV invitations import. Okay, this one, then in global app create app import import from CSV. Right, I'm not alone in the office actually. So yeah, import from CSV, and then what we need here is another route. Annotations create, annotations send, then annotations import, and import here, and it will be a new method, really similar to create. So create and import, show form for importing new. No, it should be not in the events controller, of course. It should be in the invitations controller. Yes, right. Invitations controller. So copy the create into import. Events, we do need events. Right, and let's go to invitations create, and let's save that as import, and let's open that file. Import blade, it should be really similar. Store, actually let's put the import store here. Import from CSV, and we get the same event to choose, and instead of email we will have form file, from what I remember. Actually, form label is the same label, so label CSV, and then form file CSV. Form file CSV. Then, actually, I don't remember the actual parameters for that. Form file CSV. Actually, let's put it this way. If ours has file CSV fields CSV file required. Okay, we're good here. Double fields CSV file. And let's try. So in invitations we should have a button import here, import from CSV. And let's see if we have any errors here. Import store. Of course, I don't have route defined for the post thing. So import store. So import store, it will be post. Import store will be the method, and import store will be the name of our route. Reload the page, and yay, we have the form. So we have event and we have CSV file. Let's process that. It will be similar to store method. So store and then import store. Import store, it will be different request. Then create, get allows. Wait, again, I'm doing it in the wrong controller. Excuse me. Right, so it's not event controller, it's invitations controller. So again, import, and then in addition to store, we'll do import store. Import store, so it will be different request. Actually, let's copy that. So store invitation request, copy that into store import invitations request, store import, rename the class name, Right, and the only actually important thing here is the event ID required, and CSV file is required as well. CSV required. Right. Okay, store import, and let's add here store import. Great. Store import this here and define class request. Now I've paused the video, and this is day 2 of my video, so the only thing left here is to import the CSV and process it. Actually, behind the scenes I've written the code, so I'll just paste it here and we'll explain it. So basically we're uploading file CSV, that's the name. If we go to our import blade, so that's the file CSV, and then we store it as file import CSV, and that will actually store in storage /app/ this folder and this file name. And then we go just basically same old PHP fopen and get CSV. So we're not using any package like Laravel Excel or anything like that, because to be fair, we don't have even CSV here. It will be just a list of emails. So we're just reading one by one and getting the array of emails. Actually, thinking about it, maybe we don't even need the array. Here we just create the invitation. So invitation create, and then we'll have array. So what we need for invitation? Event ID, that's the first thing I think. So event ID will come from request event ID, and email will be this one, and that's it, I guess. What else do we need? Email. All those others are irrelevant. So we create a lot of invitations and we redirect to invitation. Yeah, I guess that's okay. We redirect to the same invitations. What else we need to do here? Actually, I'll show you the CSV, which is just a similar, just a simple, just list of emails. So let's try to import that. Playing around here. So actually we go to invitations, then import from CSV button, we choose our event, and we import the CSV file, which I have here on my desktop. Hit save, and there you go. 3 emails imported for the same event, which we can send notifications, send the invitations to. So that's basically it. Again, I will repeat, I don't advise to send the emails in bulk just like that with Mail or Mailtrap. I prefer to use MailChimp for that, or other similar systems. Yeah, that's it. I will upload the code to GitHub now, and you will find the link in the description of YouTube video. And I hope you learned something from it, and this is how you can create simple system for even like jobs on Upwork in basically half an hour or an hour time, and that would be the MVP, the first version, which you can show to the client and go further. That's it. See you in the next videos of Laravel Business YouTube channel.